Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome to Gisela Mann's PhD Top Tips, and this is tip number 4, reduce, reuse and recycle. Now, it's very likely that over the course of the 3 years you've been working on your PhD that you've got lots of information already stored in your hard drive, documents you had to write, conference papers, articles, reports to your supervisor, internal evaluations, notes to self. There'll be stacks on there. So the key here is to reuse what you've already got before you write anything else. This is one really good tip to being very efficient and maximising the effort you've already put in over the years on writing your PhD. So the way I did it was to do a search in my Finder on my hard drive on the topic that I am writing. So let's say it's consumption. I'm writing a chapter or something to do with consumption. I would look up consumption on my hard drive and see what came up. I'd also vary the spellings, because if you're anything like me, notes to self are not word perfect, and there might be stuff under there that's, consumption written wrong, or I just put cons, to get the beginning of the word would capture everything that is likely to be under consumption. So vary the search terms to make sure you absolutely capture everything you've already written. What I would then do is create a table and arrange your information by themes, putting in, copy and paste into the table everything your themes. It's not going to be the same for everybody, but you'll arrange your information by theme. Make sure that you retain the source and the page number if you're using references or cited bits of information from literature. That will save you heaps of time when you come to reference your work. It's a nightmare if you don't do that, because you're just trying to remember where the information came from, what page. And so hopefully as you went along you kept your sources and your page numbers with your notes. I know I did, so that made it easier, and I do recommend that you do that. That reduces your time substantially in references. If you haven't, Google is really good. If you just take a chunk of a referenced piece of material, it will often bring up the relevant author or book. I found that quite useful for the times I hadn't kept my reference or page number with my excerpt from the literature. So once you've arranged your information by theme, you can start to see where the gaps are, where you don't have anything. You might need to do a little bit of additional research to plug those gaps. Then you've got a nice plan, and you can go ahead and write your chapter with. Sometimes I would find that a good 50% of my chapter might already be hiding in my hard drive, and just need some reorganisation, rejigging, and then some additional research, and continue to write the rest of the chapter. So we've gone from perhaps having a 70,000 word outstanding to maybe only having 30 or 40,000 once you start plugging in what you've already written over the years from your hard drive. So this is a key step in writing your thesis really effectively and efficiently. The planning process also means that you reduce repetition. When you free write, you're not always writing in a logical, coherent format. By planning in this way, reusing what you've got, you make sure that your themes really flow logically, and you can move them around to make sure you're happy with that flow, which means when you do get to write it, you're writing something concise, fluid, with a logical flow at the very beginning, which will reduce your revisions and reduce that time needed to get your final draft ready. So reduce, reuse and recycle what you have already done. This maximizes the effort you've already expended, reduces the amount of words and the amount of research you still need to do, and is a key step in getting your PhD written in the shortest amount of time possible. Now, if you have any questions or any points of clarification, do pop them in the chat below, and I'll create other little videos to answer these questions. Because I know I'm kind of doing a whistle-stop tour of my top tips, because it doesn't really need that much clarification. They're quick, they're fast, they're efficient, but there may be things I've missed out. So let me know, pop them in the chat, and I'll do other little videos to answer your questions. So thanks very much.